You don't mind if I sit here?
So it's 7 o'clock. I'm calling this meeting to order of April 20th, City Council meeting. First of all, as usual, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we start the roll call tonight, I would like to announce that just a few moments ago, we hired a new town attorney. He is here. His name is Mr. Bill Connors, and he's sitting with us. We also have his daughter here, who will be the assistant attorney, Jennifer Larson. And Jenna, you might stand up and take a bow. They are both extremely well qualified attorneys. Bill has been city attorney and assistant city attorney in the town of Monterey for many, many years, and has also done much work as appeared before almost all of the major courts in the United States, including the Supreme Court. So I feel very, very fortunate that we have Bill here. He was the #1 selection from the legal committee that we had appointed, and they did a wonderful job, and so I'm looking forward to great things from Bill. Thank you. We will now have the roll call.
Councilmember Lewis.
Present.
Councilmember Carlson.
Here.
Councilmember McKeithen. Here. Vice Mayor Widmer.
Here.
Mayor Dobby.
Here. So the first item on the agenda tonight is a presentation by the San Bruno Vice Mayor, Rico Medina.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, staff, residents. I'm here this evening, first and foremost, simply to come before you on a personal basis, coming to the various communities to discuss briefly the September 9, 2010 pipe explosion that occurred in the city of San Bruno, to offer our appreciation and thanks, and on behalf of the Mayor and the City of San Bruno, to present the Mayor and Council with a proclamation. I do appreciate allowing me first on the agenda and to address you this evening. San Bruno has been incredibly and extremely fortunate to have had so much interest and support of all kinds. Just this evening, Scott Munns, who is the retired San Bruno Public Works Director, actually came because he knew we were going to be here to speak very briefly on this. We've had so many people across the region come forward to help our city in its desperate need during that disaster. That night on September 9th, I stood up there along with the mayor at Glenview, watching the fireball come out from the earth, feeling the over 2,000-degree heat, watching our firefighters and other public safety personnel as they responded when the water main broke, trying to do the best they could to evacuate, preserve life and property. It was something that you could never imagine, watching your community in flames, the homes burning, and the residents being evacuated. Within the first 48 hours of the incident, we had 500 fire personnel, 300 police personnel that responded and also aided in the EOC, which allowed us to try to provide to the community what it needed. Atherton, in its part, along with everybody else, but in Atherton, as part of the Menlo Park Fire District, Atherton provided immediate and initial fire personnel and equipment, along with command staff, including the fire chief. Urban search and rescue staff and equipment were also provided to us. Police officers, as well as communications and records personnel, responded to our request for mutual aid. Rebuilding the community will not be easy, and it will be a long process, with challenges along the way. However, with the support of our neighbors, like the town of Atherton, we are confident that our community will rebuild. And I'm happy to tell you that there already are approved plans for reconstruction of the homes and others who are dealing with architects and designers, and we will be seeing rebuilding to that area this spring and summer. The investigation into this cause of the break in the pipeline and the explosion will continue to be a priority and interest to our community. And as you know, the city of San Bruno flew back to Washington, D.C. to participate in the NTSB hearing. And a couple weeks ago, the California PUC held a meeting at the Senior Center in order to give everyone, not just San Bruno, but throughout the area, an opportunity to address their concerns and needs and going forward. The City Council and staff will continue to focus on addressing the safety of the natural gas pipelines in our communities. This will be a significant effort for all of us in the coming months and years. We all need to do what it takes to make sure that what happened in San Bruno never happens again to anyone or anywhere. Knowing what happened on that night and why will not bring back the lives that were lost in the tragedy and will not put the neighborhood back together more quickly. But it is our duty never to forget what happened on that night, the lives that were lost, and how it changed the community forever. Steps must be taken to improve and protect the residents of every community in the future. I personally continue to be extremely inspired by the residents and how they are progressing as we move forward after now several months. At the 6-month anniversary, the neighborhood regrouped back at the top of Glenview. A few days after the September 9th incident, the mayor and I had gone to some of the hospitals to see some of the burn victims. There was a young man named Joe who lost his girlfriend. Ms. Morales watched her perish before him. He was extremely badly burned in a coma and was not sure whether he'd make it. But there on that 6-month anniversary, shortly after 6, there he stood, walking on his own, talking on his own, to his residents and friends around what used to be his home. On March 29th, the Recovery Center opened on San Mateo Avenue in the city of San Bruno to continue to help the residents and the community along the way. There's a gentleman named Alan, who I also met at the hospital, who was badly burned, but he has been doing much better and out and about. And that night, on March 29th, he introduced me to his wife, Cindy, who, when we were at the hospital, was uncertain about her future and was in a coma for 30 days from the incident. There, she reached out her arm, bandaged as it may be, and all I could say was what a privilege, a pleasure, and a miracle that I was meeting her and talking to her that night. Just last Saturday at Mills High School, there was a dedication to William Bowles, who was a senior at Mills High School in Millbrae. Not only is it tough for a community, other cities, and faculty and students to grip with this, but there we had Sue Bowles, who on that night lost her home, her dog, her mother-in-law, her husband, and her son, all within minutes. And she was able to read a prepared statement and honoring as they dedicated a tree on that Arbor Day to William's memory and the future and what it meant to her for him to have attended Mills, and that obviously the sorrow that she was going through, but it was important for her to be there. With courage of residents like these and the resolve of the community and with the support of the town of Atherton and others, I believe we will get through this together and that neighborhood will be thriving once again. So I am here to offer this proclamation to you, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, with our sincerest, deep-felt appreciation for the support of the town, of its residents, of its council, and its staff. So on behalf of the people and the residents of the City of San Bruno and the City Council, I want to thank each and every one of you and welcome you to the Mayor and the City Council of San Bruno. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for being here. You know, your tragedy was a tragedy for all of us. And I guess the positive part of this was that the community managed to come together very quickly to help, and that was a demonstration of what we all may need here in the future if tragedies such as yours affect us. So I think, bad as it was, maybe there was some piece of it that we can look at as being very, very positive. So thank you so much. And I hope all of the people who are injured recover soon as possible.
We appreciate your continued support. Thank you again very much. And everyone, please have a great week and a good Easter. Enjoy.
Thank you, Rico.
Thank you again.
Our next order of business is a presentation for the California Police Week. Chief Guerra.
Thank you, Mayor Dottie.
As you know, May is the month that our nation, the states, and the cities and towns dedicate to honoring and remembering peace officers who have given their lives in the line of duty. Your 16 regular and 6 reserve police officers in Atherton are roughly part of the 83,000 law enforcement officers that serve about 37 million Californians. All of these officers put their lives on the line each and every day they come to work to protect life and property, which is, of course, the highest form of public service. While Atherton has never lost an officer in the line of duty, our neighboring cities of Menlo Park, Redwood City, East Palo Alto have, including some more than one. One of those East Palo Alto police officer, Richard May, who died in the line of duty on January 7, 2006, has family ties in Atherton, as we know. I am reminded each day I drive to work on Highway 280 and cross the Hillsborough Police Officer Eugene Duran Memorial Bridge that crosses the Crystal Springs Dam. He was making a routine traffic stop when a criminal decided to shoot him. I further have memories of 4 officers, local officers in San Mateo County who died also in the line of duty. I would like to present to each of you, along with the city manager, with the 2011 California Peace Officers Memorial Pin and a copy of the Memorial magazine that lists the 11 peace officers that died or are enrolled this year for 2010, along with 3 that died in prior years. Atherton has a long tradition of involvement in the memorial that sits across the street from the state capitol in Sacramento. Retired Police Chief Richard Moore was one of the founders of the memorial when he was appointed by Governor Hugh Mason back in 1986. He's been active with the memorial since. In March of this year, I was appointed by the President of the California Police Chiefs Association to serve on the memorial's board of directors as their representative from Northern California. It's a great honor for me to carry on this legacy of Atherton's participation in that. Just wanted to briefly read you what the memorial is about. Just for members of the public, I know retired officers are in the audience as well, Mr. Ruggiero being one of those. The California Peace Officers Memorial Foundation is a nonprofit charitable foundation whose mission is to recognize and honor California's peace officers who gave their lives in the line of duty, serving the citizens of this great state, and provide support for the family members left behind. This year, May 1st through the 2nd, 2011, groups of people will gather together to honor the memory of a member of their family, surviving spouses, even lost partner, children missing a parent, older couples who have survived their son or daughter, brothers, sisters, and fellow police officers. Therefore, it is important that those of us here recognize that these officers do not die in vain. We, the people, owe a debt to those who have given their lives, and the peace officers of this state want this memory to stay fresh in the minds of the citizens. Please join with me and wear the pin proudly for National Police Week, which is May 15th through the 21st, 2011. Thank you.
I think we all join you in showing our appreciation of all these police officers. I happened to, was in Sacramento when they had the big day there, and it's very, very moving to see all these police officers there. So I think we all share with your comments here, Mike, and we're really pleased that you also have received this appointment and that Dick Moore has as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council.
Before we go to public comments now, I will say that we've modified 3 items on the agenda, and I will read what these modifications are when the items come up. I'll read them at the moment as well. On item 16, the city manager has requested that $15,000 from the parcel tax fund for park survey be deleted. And item 23, be limited in scope to approving the professional services providers as described. We request that no contract be awarded. This item has 2 parts. One action is to approve a list of qualified surveyors. The other is to award a contract to survey the park. Item 18, approval of the item would include a modification to the contract that allows any surveying deemed necessary for the project may be taken away from the 10% contingency. This shifts the burden of liability away from the town and over to the architect, as well as saving the town $15,000. And when these items come up, I will read this here. We'll now go to public comments.